Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome to Gradeup. Welcome to this session. So good to see you guys. If you can hear me, just say a quick hi on the app and on the YouTube as well. Of course, I can see a couple of names, Priyanshu, and I can see Tamanna so far. And those of you on the app, you can say hi as well. Okay, so today's session probably is one of the very important sessions for the simple reason that this is a very stable kind of questions in CAT. If you write any of the CAT that has happened in the previous couple of years, probably a decade or more actually, you would find Para-Jumble questions always a part of CAT. Practically every single year Para-Jumble has been asked, and Para-Jumble is very consistent question type in exams like CAT, ZAT, InMat, TISNET, you write CMAT, you write Maharashtra CET, whatever you write, you would find these questions there. The problem is that more or less, a lot of students believe that Para-Jumble questions are like Russian roulette or gamble. More so in CAT where options are not given, right? So what happens is students are like, sir, if there are 4 options given, A, B, C, D, and I have to find the correct answer, then it is like, I can make 24 combinations and only one combination is correct, and that means my chances are like, well below 5%. So why should I bother? Or 5 options ho gaye to kahani khatam. And therefore students are very wary of this particular category of question. Whereas if you look at this category of questions, it does not require very specific knowledge of grammar. It doesn't really require very solid vocab. Working vocab, basic idea of English language can help you solve these questions. If you have an analytical mind, these questions are going to check how good you are with analytical bent of mind and not really how good you are with the English knowledge or knowledge of English language per se. Correct? And that's what you have to realize. Let me tell you, if you understand how these questions are done and if you practice about 100 plus questions, you would be more or less good to go, bulletproof from CAT angle. You would be able to do most of these questions. हो जाते हैं आराम से. Options ना होना is a problem. Options ना होना is a problem. But then there are exams like ZAT where you get options. You get options in IFT. You get options in other exams. So it's a very great idea to learn this category of questions, right? Before I move on, let me tell you, my name is Krishnendu Datta. You can follow me on the app also. I hope you guys already have the Gradeup app. Agar nahi hai to download kar lo, free of cost. And you can access so many courses, so many classes of different faculty members from across India. So abhi tak nahi kiya hai, to I don't know what you're waiting for. Kar lena, okay? And let me also quickly tell you a few important things. We have something called Gradeup Super. Now, if you have Gradeup Super with you, what happens is it is like Netflix or Amazon subscription. You can access classes and you can buy this subscription for a certain period of time. For example, suppose you are targeting CAT 21, you need it for at least till CAT, which means you need about 9 months to 12 months subscription, right? So it can be bought for days. For example, you are targeting next year 2022, then you need more months. So you can buy accordingly and you have to pay accordingly, and you can access all courses, tons of mocks, live classes, you get quizzes, you get notes, whatnot. So everything possible, right? So if you have not bought it yet, shouldn't wait. Speak to our counselors immediately and go for Gradeup Super, because sahi prep hai to life set hai. That's what we believe in. Correct? If you meet our faculty members, you would see that we believe in cracking the exam first, acing the exam and then teaching, and not teaching by just giving you some ordinary general global gyan. We tell you what works, we tell you what doesn't work, because we have done it, we do it every single year. You can look at the performance of the faculty members in their respective areas. Correct? You can look at the very high percentile that we expect from our faculty members, and we also expect from our students. Correct? So if you still have queries and you want to join us quickly, you can give us calls at these numbers. Make sure you do not miss the chance. You become part of the greatest, the very best platform for online teaching right now for CAT. Okay. All right, guys, I can see quite a few of you joining. Ashish, hi. Siddharth, hello. And I can see tons of you on the app, but I think you guys don't believe in saying hello. मतलब मुझे बोलना पड़ता है कि अरे hello बोल लो, छुप के क्यों बैठे हो? So I'm pretty sure now you would say hi, है ना? So let's start. तो शुरुआत करते हैं क्वेश्चन से. Why not a question, huh? So those of you on the app, those of you on the YT, YouTube, please solve this question quickly और मुझे बताओ आंसर क्या होगा. You have 5 choices A, B, C, D, E. You have to tell me the correct logical order. Okay? So please tell me what would you choose. Abhinav and Saurav Patil. Hello, good to see you. I hope you can see the question. हाँ, question दिख रहा है, no problem. So, जल्दी से आंसर बताओ. साक्षी, प्रदीप, जील, ऋषिकेश and Sakshi is saying hi now because मैंने पहले hi बोला है. Okay. No, I can say hi only when you say hi. मुझे तब तक तुम्हारे नाम नहीं दिखते. I only see who is joining. Part, good evening. चलो जल्दी से, एक भी गलती नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay. I don't want even a single wrong answer. चलो फटाफट से solve it and tell me the correct answer. Okay, let's see if you can do it. Abhinav, Saurabh, etc. Please do it. It's a very good question और आप कर सकते हैं आराम से. ट्राई करो. E, B, C, D, A. Suvranil has answered already. Okay, ठीक है. I will wait for others. No problem. बाकी लोग भी करेंगे ट्राई, है ना? तब तो मजा आएगा. So let's wait. I have got one answer so far. Let's see if that's correct or not. It is pretty doable, guys. If you are practicing for CAT, you should be able to do this. आराम से हो जाना चाहिए. तो दम लगा के सॉल्व कर दो जल्दी से. ऋषिकेश says E, B, D, C, A. थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस आ गया. Okay. Subranil and Rishikesh, their answers are practically similar, but थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस आ गया. Okay, no problem. Those on YouTube, please try जल्दी से. So Parth, Sakshi, Pradeep, Jeel, Saurabh, Siddharth, Jay, Ashish, I'm waiting for your answers. Try कर लो quickly. Siddharth, E, B, C, D, A. E, B, C, D, A. Subranil जैसा ही है. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Let's see. I will wait for 30 more seconds before we move on. Those on YouTube, please try. All right. Part E, C, B, D, A, but Susie's answer is B, E, D, C, A. And Sejal's answer is A, E, D, B, C. This is the biggest problem with Para-Jumble questions, especially when there are no options. Your answers can go haywire, and there are five sentences, which means you can make 120 combinations, and only one combination is correct. ये तो घोर अन्याय है. Saurabh says A, C, E, B, D. ठीक है, चलो एक काम करते हैं. Let me help you with some pointers. हाँ, थोड़े points दिखाता हूँ, सिखाता हूँ. Then we try the question, okay? Because अभी तो wrong answers आ रहे हैं काफी सारे wrong answers हैं. I'm glad कुछ correct answers भी हैं, which is very nice. But then very clearly we have to worry about all those who are not getting the correct answer, है ना? Aarti's answer is EDBCA. One wrong combination and your answer is out. That's the problem. चलो मैं कुछ थोड़ा सा help करता हूँ पहले, okay? So the first thing you do is you have to keep in mind very important 5 points. Okay, 5 points याद रखना, 5 steps. What are those 5 steps? First of all, read the complete paragraph and try to find the central idea. Always try to see what the paragraph is talking about. For example, if you read this paragraph, you can see that the paragraph is about Bahadur Shah Zafar. And a side information is that somebody is writing a book. इतना तो पल्ले पड़ गया ना, इतना समझ आ गया. You understood this, that the paragraph is about Bahadur Shah Zafar and somebody is writing a book, or rather written a book. Central idea is very important. Why? Because it's like you are a detective who is trying to piece together a dead body. Dead body के parts मिले, थोड़ा अजीब example है, but just to help you. Dead body के parts मिले, हाथ यहाँ, पैर यहाँ. First of all, you have to understand who the body belongs to. Suppose it's a dog's body, then very clearly you would do it differently. If it's a human's body, you would join it differently. पहले पता तो कि body किसकी मिली है. तो अगर bat की body मिली है versus dog की body मिली है versus cat की body मिली है, you would try to put things separately, differently, right? Similarly, human being की body मिली है तो different treat करेंगे. Same is true here also. The paragraph is about Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar, in name only, but still. And the paragraph very clearly is about that, and also about somebody who has written a book. ठीक है? Then what do? Then we look for an opening sentence. Opening sentence generally will introduce the person or an event or a thing or a full form or something like that, or a full name. है ना? Introduction should generally have full name. Okay. Now everybody please pay attention here. काफी सारे आंसर्स मिले मुझे, ध्यान से देखना. Do you guys notice that E option says Bahadur Shah Zafar, whereas D option says Zafar and B option says Zafar? Can we be sure that opening sentence should be E? Because can we agree that a full form will always come before a short form? Unless I call you by your entire name, I cannot use the short name. Can we agree? Yes or no? So Anirudh Sood, Pinky, Sam, good evening guys. Do you agree to the point I'm making? Can we agree that full form to pehle aana chahiye? You can call me Krishnendu Datta and then only you would say KD in some subsequent line. Pehle hi KD bologe to pata nahi chalega who is this guy, right? Which means we all agree that E should start the paragraph, or at least if not start, it should come before B or D. B or D se to pehle aayega because B and D has Zafar. E has Bahadur Shah Zafar. So we understood this much. So we know E will come before B and D. Chalo, let's learn the next rule. Next rule says opening sentence will introduce an idea. ठीक है, fine. Rule number 3. Always pay extra attention to articles. People don't do this. Pay attention to articles, guys. A or an always refers to a generic idea. The refers to a specific idea. बहुत important point है, ध्यान दो. Everybody, please pay attention. Suppose I say he has a car, and this is D statement, and E statement says the car is old. Can we all agree that a car definitely, D statement definitely will come before the, because when I talk about a car, it's a generic car, but when I say the car, now I'm talking about the same car. So DE is the right order, ED नहीं बोल सकते. ये बात सबको समझ में आ रही है? This is a very important topic, very important step. CAT level के बहुत सारे questions मैंने इसके basis पे solve किया. I can show you also. Does it make sense, everybody? Pay attention to nouns and you look at the adjective, the आर्टिकल्स और एडजेक्टिव्स ए एंड द बीइंग यूज्ड, ए और एन आएगा जेनरिक के साथ, द वुड बी अबाउट स्पेसिफिक थिंग्स, करेक्ट. नाउ look at this question, guys. It says, look at this statement. William Dalrymple's new book is a riveting account of the dynasty's final months. The dynasty. Now you are a detective. You are like, the dynasty? ये the dynasty कौन है? Which dynasty? कहाँ बात कर रहे हो dynasty की? Why are you saying the dynasty? Have you talked about dynasty anywhere? तो हम ढूंढना शुरू कर दें dynasty जरा. Can you guys see dynasty anywhere? बताओ. Can we see dynasty anywhere? दिख रहा है ना सबको? So can I see B talks about dynasty? Yes or no? दिख रहा है? बात समझ में आ रही है? So can we now agree that this the dynasty is actually this or dynasty? This the dynasty should come after or dynasty, because पहले बोलोगे or dynasty, then you would say the book is on the dynasty, है कि नहीं? The की बात तो तभी करेंगे ना जब की बात होगी. Now this is how we create links. E will come before B or D because E had the full name Bahadur Shah Zafar. It was introducing the idea. And now I know that no matter what, A will come after B because B talks about dynasty. तो ऑर्डर तो निकल के आ रहा है, yes or no? ऑर्डर तो निकल के आ रहा है. ओके फाइन, थोड़ा और सीखते हैं, थोड़ा सा और देखते हैं. Now fourth rule says, whenever you see pronouns are he, she, it names, they, these, those, that, it, you, we, us, our, है ना, ऐसे pronouns, contrasting words but however unlike, emphatic words, even, only, merely, to, chronology words, then, afterwards, now, after that, January, February, March, or idea extension words, moreover, adding to it, additionally, similarly. ये words जहां भी मिलेंगे ना, जहां भी मिलेंगे, wherever you find these words, underline them mentally. Don't do that on the computer screen in CAT. बाहर निकाल देंगे, ऐसा मत करना. But while practicing, just pay attention. Okay, I have an it here. What is this it referring to? I have these here. What is this these referring to? I have a but here. What is this but referring to? Because when I say but, I'm talking about a contrasting idea before. India is not a very rich country, but India is trying to give vaccine to all its citizens. So if I look at the sentence, but it is trying to give vaccine to all its citizens, I know it is something that should not happen. यानी इसके पीछे some contrasting idea has come, right? So pay attention to these. And lastly, fifth point, guys, always remember full form will come before short form. Generic idea generally comes before specific idea. Cause comes before effect, and point comes before example or explanation. Should follow, of course, unless the author states it otherwise. Full form will come before short form, generic idea will come before specific idea, cause will come before effect, point will come before example. These are the 5 points we have to keep in mind whenever we are doing para-jumble questions, and you would have a 90% accuracy broadly, correct? Now if you have missed my class or you have joined late, for example, one of you joined late, I cannot revise everything. You can watch the session after it gets over, है ना, वो तो कर ही सकते हो. तो I think we would save time like that, है ना. Suhankar, yes, absolutely. I did not discuss all the words. You guys are smart enough to figure them out. मैंने बस आपको एक broad outline दिया है. Naturally, time is a factor, no? So remember, I'll repeat, guys. I'll repeat. Try to figure out what is the central idea. Look for an opening line which introduces the idea. Then pay attention to use of a and the. Then pay attention to pronouns, extension words, emphatic words, chronology words, idea extension words. And lastly, remember, full form to short form, generic idea to specific idea, cause to effect, point to example, generally follow the same order unless the author very clearly writes something else altogether. तो ये ध्यान रखना है, 5 पॉइंट आप मैक्सिमम क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लोगे. चलो फिर से ट्राई करते हैं उसी क्वेश्चन को. सो लेट्स सी. नाउ आई नो दैट बहादुर शाह जफर इज मेंशन्ड हियर. So E will come before B or D because B and D had Zafar, short name. Now I also know the dynasty is given in A and or dynasty is given in B. So A will come after B. It is possible that it comes immediately after or after B, but after B certainly. One more thing. C says at its height. Its height. What is it referring to? It must be referring to the dynasty, correct? Okay. And then D says by the time Zafar came into his inheritance. By the time means that before that, it's a chronology word. Before that something was happening. It's like your parents were doing very well. By the time they reached their 50s, they were truly wealthy. When I say by the time, it means before that I'm talking about something, correct? होना चाहिए, है ना? तो अब फाइनल आंसर निकालते हैं. सो लेट्स ट्राई. फर्स्ट E. On November 7th, 1862, the body of exiled Bahadur Shah Zafar II was lowered into an unmarked grave in Myanmar in the city then known as Rangoon. Fine. Now I cannot write A after that. Forget it. I know I can write B, C or D. But B makes more sense because it says Zafar, sorry, we're talking about the Bahadur Shah Zafar. Then let's try. Let me look at your answers and then try. SNV, good evening. But आप काफी late आए हो SNV. Okay. So let's try. Start with Subranil's answer E, B, C, D, A. एक बार Subranil का आंसर देखते हैं. So that we know who got the correct answer. So Subranil wrote E, B, C, D, A. चलो इसको ट्राई करके देखते हैं. ओके. या Suvankar, I'll try your answer also. Suvankar says E, D, B, C, A. चलो दोनों ट्राई करके देखते हैं. ओके. The city is then known as Rangoon. So Bahadur Shah Zafar, E, very clearly we are starting. Then after that put B. Zafar had been the last Mughal emperor, his death the final act. We are talking about death because lowered into an unmarked grave. Makes sense. Final act of our dynasty that had reigned for 350 years. So EB makes sense. Then let's try C. At its height, so we are talking about our dynasty. At its height, under the emperor Aurangzeb, it ruled over all the Indian subcontinent, bar its southernmost tip. Now you would see a very interesting thing. You're talking about what it was when Aurangzeb was the emperor. And then immediately after that, what do you expect? You would expect what happened when this guy came into power. Makes sense, no? What it was when Aurangzeb was there and what it became later. By the time Zafar came into his inheritance, his writ scarcely ran beyond the walls of Delhi. Look at the contrast. औरंगजेब था तो पूरे इंडिया पे राज था. बहादुर शाह जफर सेकंड केम तो दिल्ली पे ही राज करना मुश्किल था. वेरी गुड कॉम्बिनेशन because it's a contrast. And then William Dalrymple's new book is a riveting account of the dynasty's final moments. A perfect answer. So correct answer would be E, B, E, then B, then C, then D, then A. That would be the correct answer. And very clearly Subranil got it right. Very good. Well done, Subranil. You, I think, gave the correct answer. E, B, C, D, A. Rishikesh, I hope you understood. You missed it by a whisker. एक आगे पीछे हो गया. Correct. Suvankar, you too. I hope you understood. Correct. And the rest of you, did it make sense? Do you realize the amount of detective work you are supposed to do? आपको कितना दिमाग लगाना पड़ सकता है questions में? Why practice is important? I hope you understood all that. है कि नहीं? आप practice नहीं करोगे, ये questions आपके लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएंगे. Okay? Chalo, let's try one more. Why not? This one is pretty easy. Why? Because first and last are fixed. तो ये काफी आसान है, बट एक ट्राई करके देखते हैं. जल्दी से आंसर बता दो एवरीबॉडी. Quick, everyone. Let's see who gets it right. Fatafat. This one is not hard. This one is quite doable. Siddharth, your answer was the same. I'm sorry I missed that. In that case, well done. You did a good job, of course. Sakshi says too much brain. Sakshi, cat is about applying your brain only. वो रट्टा मार एक एग्जाम थोड़ी ना है, कॉलेज वाला स्कूल वाले एग्जाम्स नहीं है. This brain. And you have lots of it. Don't worry. बस मेहनत करनी है. Okay. Suankar says BCAD. Okay, let's see. Subranil says DBAC. So Subranil's answer is different from okay, DBAC. Alright. Suankar, have you checked your answer again? Because Sam Jan gives the same answer. Sam का answer भी same है, DBAC. DB ऋषिकेश का answer is DBCA. थोड़ा सा okay. SNV's answer is DCAB. So you all agree D से शुरू होगा. That's nice. BCAD. Okay. BCAD. ठीक है. Anuja says BCAD. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Parth DBAC. Sam का भी same ही है. Swankar. Okay. All right. All right. Let's try, guys. Let's try. Sakshi BCBA. Vishal AB. No, Vishal is taking no chance. Vishal ने बड़ा simple सा आंसर किया ABCD. टेंशन ही खत्म. ओके. DBAC सिद्धार्थ. DBAC. चलो देखते हैं. ओके. Suankar says the second line should start with the colony. ठीक है देखते हैं. चलो. ऐश्वर्या DABC. सिद्धार्थ DBAC. कलावती says BACD. चलो ट्राई करते हैं एवरीबॉडी. मैं आपको पहले थोड़ा सा हिंट देता हूं, थोड़ा सा क्लू देता हूं. Can we see the pronoun here, please? All of you, please make sure that you have the right sentence before C, because C says, but its fortune. Its fortune. ये किसकी बात कर रहा है? Its fortune are presently restored. Restored means what? It's an effect, no? Restored is used once something has been devastated, destroyed, put into disorder, correct? So it has a pronoun its and it has an effect restored. तो इसके पहले मुझे cause भी चाहिए. I need cause and I also need what is this pronoun it referring to. So can we all agree that this pronoun it is referring to the colony, termite colony, correct? And it is this restored is referring to the balance. Can we all agree that A and C will come together? Yes or no? 100%. Yes, Anurag, that's right. AC will come together for sure. Correct. Now, वी आर लेफ्ट विद बी एंड डी, करेक्ट। तो हमारे पास दो ऑप्शंस आ गए, और लेट्स से AC will come together for sure. Anandu, hello. Now, very clearly, AC will come together for sure, but we also have to make sure that our answer matches with 1 and matches with 6. करेक्ट। अब एक चीज बहुत ध्यान से देखो, बहुत ध्यान से देखना। रीड 6th everybody. How can we account for? Account for means explain. Explain a mysterious ability to respond like this. Respond like this to events on the distant surface. Respond like this. What is this referring to? I hope it is clear. Respond like this. कहां पे बात हो रही थी रेस्पॉन्ड करने की? बात समझ में आ रही है? Look at C. C says, but its fortunes are presently restored because the immobile queen, walled in well below the ground level, lays eggs not only in large enough numbers but also in the varying proportions required. How can we explain this mysterious ability to respond like this? Respond like this. So very clearly, C will come before 6th, and we know A and C will come together. अब मेरे पास दो ही ऑप्शन बचते हैं, either my answer is BDAC or DBAC. Now you guys try. Let's try BDAC once, then we try DBAC. I hope you follow. Suvankar, did you follow this? AC 7 आएगा और C 6 के पहले आएगा, because C, the sixth statement is talking about this ability. This ability. Now try BDAC. एक बार ट्राई करते हैं BDAC, है ना? एक बार BDAC ट्राई करते हैं, फिर DBAC ट्राई कर लेंगे। हो गया, यही तो करना है ना? Just a second. Let me see. I have not missed any. कोई कमेंट मिस नहीं किया। चलो, लेट्स स्टार्ट विद DBAC गाइस, ओके? सॉरी, BDAC पहले ट्राई करते हैं। एंड 6th, picture a termite colony occupying a tall mud hump on an African plain. Then B, the colony flourishes only if the proportion of soldiers to work remains roughly the same. अचानक से क्या बात कर रहा है? So the queen and workers, now it's talking about soldiers and workers, but we have not talked about soldiers and workers yet. कहां बात की है? इंट्रो कहां से हुआ इनका? अचानक से आ गए। And one more thing guys, do you notice that D says the hump? The hump means what? The is talking about a specific thing. अभी सिखाया था, yes or no? Where is hump been talked about earlier? Hump is here. A tall mud hump. Do you see that everybody? यानी 1 के बाद क्या आएगा? D. Because 1 talks about a hump and D talks about the hump. So 1 and then D. Then obviously B, because A और C तो 7 आएगा और C के बाद 6th आएगा. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is DBAC. Did that make sense everyone? And of course the first answer was again given by, it was Subranil, yes, well done Subranil, you gave the first answer, very good, well done. Now very clearly I think quite a few of you may have got it right, but more importantly, if you have done, very well done, but more importantly, did it make sense everybody? समझ आया कैसे करना है, कैसे छोटे छोटे क्लूज पकड़ने हैं? This is how para-jumble questions are done. और लोग कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं? For A looks like the beginning, B is explaining A, C is explaining B. I have read these kind of solutions in a lot of books and on websites. Author must start with A because A is the starting point. B obviously will come after because B will explain the author's point. ऐसे solve नहीं होते questions. These questions are very clinical, scientific questions. ऐसे solve करते हो आप. This one is again a CAT question. I hope it is clear. बात समझ में आई? So look at this. I will quickly tell you. Picture a termite colony. a tall mud hump. So you will not talk about the termite colony. You will talk first about a hump and the hump. Correct? And it is talking about soldier termites and worker termites. And then it is talking about only if the proportion of soldiers and worker ants is correct. When would you talk about proportion of soldier and worker? Once you have talked about workers and soldiers being busy in distinct kind of business, no? Is it clear, Suvankar? When would you talk about them? Only when you have talked about them earlier. The proportion will come into picture only when you have introduced them. B is not introducing these guys, no? These guys are introduced here. यहाँ पे introduce कर रहे हो इनको. फिर आप B में इनके बारे में बता रहे हो. You have to see that also. And sixth very clearly says like this. So C will come before sixth. So A and C will come together. B is talking about the hump and it's also introducing worker and soldier ants. Therefore BD and then AC. I hope it is clear. Why the answer is so? Sorry, my mistake. I wrote it reverse. D and then of course B. I wrote it reverse and then AC. So the answer is very clearly DBAC. This is how you do these questions. I hope you get that right. Go back and start practicing. That's all you require, nothing else. Whatever I taught you, the 5 rules, I follow them every single year in CAT and they work. They always work. Correct? So thank you for joining, guys. But those of you on Gradeup app, please rate the session before you leave. Okay, I of course would appreciate that. And I would see you again. There are a lot of series lined up. So do subscribe so that you get notification. And you download the app also. There you would get notifications and also different classes which happen only on the Gradeup app. Alright. Thank you so much everybody for joining. I really loved it. And अपने दोस्तों को भी बता दो थोड़ा सा so that they also come and join. तो ज़्यादा मजा आएगा, ज़्यादा मस्ती करेंगे, है ना? Vishal, the best is previous year papers. नेट पे अवेलेबल है. Start solving CAT previous year papers. सबसे अच्छे होते हैं वो. Okay? Thank you so much everybody. Thank you. Bye bye everybody. Bye. Thank you.
2 ऑप्शंस है, सिर्फ प्रेप करो या ग्रेडअप के साथ सही प्रेप करो. ये है मिस आरती जासूस. कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम की इंडिया की सारी फैकल्टी के बारे में सब कुछ पता है.
वेंकट सर की क्लास के कॉन्सेप्ट्स और नीलम मैम के एग्जाम्पल और दीपक सर के वीडियोस में प्रीवियस ईयर्स के क्वेश्चंस.
इतनी फैकल्टी ढूंढ ली, अब तो एग्जाम क्लियर होगा ना.
आई डोंट नो.
आप सिर्फ सही प्रेप कीजिए और एक्सपर्ट फैकल्टी को आप तक लाने के लिए ग्रेडअप है ना.
ग्रेडअप के साथ सही प्रेप है
तो लाइफ सेट है.